This is a huge 70s song. Now we're in the 70s.
Gotcha.
You know, this is
So we're moving along.
Yeah,
so
this is extra
trumpet.
level.
We're hearing trombones.
deep
Now-
trombone. I mean, huge.
So now we're introducing to the 70s, and now salsa's evolving again.
Correct.
And now it's what? So much more brass. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, this is just Willie Colon and Héctor Lavoe, La Murga, huge hit for them from the 70s. Street sound. I mean, New York street to the T. You know, Latin, as far as Latin music is concerned and stuff. This is the 70s, and this defined the 70s. This song from Fania also, Fania Records. This song defines the 70s to perfection and stuff. You know, heavy brass sound, not many trumpets and stuff. Again, he was influenced by La Perfecta by Eddie Palmieri, and that's how he came along and you know, and transformed the 70s. You know, if you look back in the 70s and you see a picture of Willie Colon basically with his hat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Him
Sure.
and Héctor Lavoe, God rest his soul, one of the best soneros. Sonero is a guy who sings off the top of his head. You know,
Gotcha.
so he has a structured song to sing, you know, the lyrics, but then there's in the middle of the song he'll just go off and
just-
riff,
yeah,
you know,
gotcha.
and make it sound good, make it sound like he just
Like
he
it
wrote
belongs there.
Correct.
Gotcha.
correct, you
Okay.
know. And yeah, so that's one of their songs.
So now we're in the 70s.
Right, now we're in the 70s. Then you have big bands coming back out again. You know, bands that have more structure and stuff. You know, not no street kids getting together, some punks playing together.
Right.
You know, making music and you know.
Gotcha.
And this is La Sonora Ponceña, huge
So it's a
band.
what is it called?
La Sonora Ponceña.
La Señora
Sonora,
Oh,
Sonora.
Sonora Ponceña.
Ponceña.
All right.
The Sonora from Ponce, basically. La Sonora Ponceña. And this is a huge hit for them. Fuego en el 23, this is the original. If any of there's any Latinos out there, you know this song, you know. And if you don't, you should. Part of our culture, part of our Puerto Rican history. La Ponceña is Puerto Rican history, you know what I mean? They started back in the 60s and are still playing today, you know, along with the Gran Combo.
And this is a how many piece band?
This has got to be 15 pieces easily. 15, 16, yeah. Easily. It's a huge band. 3 trumpets. I'm not even going to get into
Yeah.
it. They have a huge band. I have the pleasure of seeing them live, and they rock the
They're
house.
really, really working hard.
Absolutely.
Like,
man,
every
absolutely.
night.
And it's they're an institution, just like the Gran Combo. They've played music for everybody all over the world, you know, and they have great hits. It's amazing. You know, this is also in the 70s.
Gotcha.
And speaking of hold on. This is the breakdown. Tremendous, man. But you know, as far as the big bands, well-known bands from Puerto Rico, Sonora Ponceña, and then of course you have El Gran Combo, which is they call the University of Salsa, la
Right.
Universidad de la Salsa from Puerto Rico. Everybody knows El Gran Combo.
Yeah,
you know,
I have a photo of them up there.
Right. Even non-Spanish speaking people, 9 times out of 10 you say El Gran Combo, they say, oh yeah, I know those guys, I've heard of them, you know what I mean? That's how big they are, you know. They were even played on WBLS, which is an R&B station back in the 70s, by DJ called Frankie Crocker. He played their music on an R&B station. That's how big they were, you know what I mean?
Wow.
It's amazing. But this is one of their songs, Compañera Mía, from 1980. Now we're getting into the very early 80s, you know, and the 80s was a different thing.
So it's speeding up, I'm hearing.
Yes,
It's
yes,
speeding
it's a
up.
little faster. Excuse me. Huge band. Gran Combo is another 16-piece
So
band.
we went from 8 people, you know, just a couple trombones, just a couple trumpets. Now we're 15
we went
people.
from a big band,
Right, massive
with
orchestra. To smaller bands.
Smaller bands, 5, 6
to now
people,
15 member
sextets.
bands now.
Correct. Back to
Gotcha.
another, right. Now we go and it has a little more quicker tempos and
Right.
danceable tempo. Gran Combo has an encyclopedia of music. I mean, they have hundreds and hundreds of songs.
Yeah, slow,
Recognizable
fast.
songs. Yeah, I mean, They have hundreds of albums, so you can find them on YouTube,
Anywhere.
of course, and everywhere else. Of course, with Sonora Ponceña. All of these I've played. And now we get into the 80s. You know, we have music like this, but for some reason, a lot of people wanted to get into love making type of music, baby making.
Romantic music.
Yeah,
They wanted to go from this to what is it? Let's hear. Wow.
This is a huge song. Ven, devórame otra vez. That's
Yes.
Lalo Rodriguez. Everybody's
I
song.
know this song.
Right?
So many people have heard this song.
Another song, Frankie Crocker played this on WBLS.
This song is
iconic, right?
We have to let it play just
Yeah.
for a couple seconds. Everyone knows this song.
Definitely. Everybody knows this.
Everybody knows this song. It's like the #1 Spanish song.
Right.
Well, we're gonna hear a couple more.
Well, this started the salsa romantica era of the 1980s, also known as salsa monga to those who didn't like it, you know, because a lot of people was like, this is too slow, garbage, la la la. I like it. I like it a lot.
And again, people, 15-member bands as well for this.
This is, you know, a little less,
Less.
yeah, about 8 to 10,
Okay.
you know. And it started off, this song is the one that started off, started off this song, but the huge song of that era was Ven Devórame Otra Vez. But this one is Lluvia by Eddie Santiago, another
Number
salsa
one.
romantica. Of
Yeah.
course, you know this song, and so I'm sure some of you, it's lumped in there with the salsa romantica stuff. You know, and it was a huge part of the 80s. You know, you can't deny it. You know, but of course you also had Sonora Ponceña, El Gran Combo continuing to play music, Eddie Palmieri. You know, they weren't the only ones, but this is the direction that most of the 80s went to. You know, and you know, it's gone from different things, from different genres, being blended all together, meaning salsa, you know, to boogaloo, mambo to boogaloo, to heavy New York street salsa in the 60s and 70s, to salsa romantica, and then you had the 90s where, you know, you came back to a more accepted type of salsa, which you know,
It went from not being as romantic to
correct.
being
It went back to its roots.
Back to its roots.
Back to its
Gotcha.
roots. For the most part. And you know, and it's changed.
We're still good on time.
Yeah, okay. And you know, this song is another one that everybody played. It was everywhere. Everybody played it, no matter where you were in the city or out here. You know, it played. You heard it and stuff. You know, it's a huge song for Eddie Santiago. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Angel Boy was his musical director also.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my music teacher knew this guy.
Correct. He was his musical director.
Where to know?
Yeah. Angel is a bad dude. Angel is a bad dude.
So Angel LeBoy is
Yeah.
my high school music teacher and middle school, like 5th grade music teacher, and he's a legendary trumpet player,
Trombone.
trombonist.
Yep. Definitely.
So this is still that romantic phase. So
Correct,
now let's
correct.
go now into the 90s.
Sure. Let's let me see what we got.
Because now we're going from this romance era to the next transition and their take.
Correct. Well, the 90s basically, I thought I had it set up already, and apparently I do not. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's you know, the 90s and the 2000s, we started getting more back into regular salsa. Salsa was opening up its doors to to Cuba. You know, not, it's still there's still an embargo. You know, there's still an embargo, and we can't get all their music. But now through YouTube and the internet, there's a lot of stuff that you can get that's available to us. This is Fresto. He has a great album, a couple of songs out there, albums and stuff, and he's
So this music was released in the 90s, you said, or the
correct.
Okay.
We started getting stuff from the
From
90s.
Cuba.
Correct.
And that was
2000s,
and that was
2000s.
influencing salsa.
Well, Cuba is basically the la cuna, they say, the birthplace of salsa because of the slave trade. The slave trade came, slaves came from Africa. Of course, the indigenous people in Cuba. They brought their drums over and started the mambo and the congas with the congas and the bongos and stuff, and that's what started the what we call salsa. You know, that's
Gotcha.
the roots of it. It comes from Africa, all of it.
Gotcha.
You know, from Africa to Cuba, Cuba to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, of course, went into salsa, but also in the bomba, which is African roots. Bomba and plena, that's definitely African. Has its roots in Africa, and we have to trace it all the way back to the motherland, Africa, because Africa is where they had the drums, the
Gotcha.
conga drums, and that's the base.
And that's the bass instrument that you will always find in salsa music.
Correct. That's the rhythm.
That's the rhythm.
That's
what makes it salsa music,
Correct.
you would say.
Correct.
So out of all the instruments, if you had to say like, where is salsa music? Like, how can you define salsa music? It would be that Congo drum being in that song.
Conga and the clave.
And the-
You know, but the conga, that drum beat is essential. Is essential.
It's
Yeah,
key.
absolutely.
So if you had to think like, so in your best experience, if you said there has to be one song, if I said you know it when you see it, you know it when you hear it, if you could think of like that one song that defines salsa music, do you happen to have? Did you?
Let me see.
I know that was my homework for you. It's okay. We could get to that a little
Did I
later.
get it? Let me see. To me, let me see. Excuse me for a second. This song will get everybody up on the dance floor. I mean, to me, you know, it's one of them. There's many,
Sure.
but this song, it's a gran combo, of course. The University of Salsa, la Universidad de la Salsa, Un Verano en Nueva York. It's called Un Verano en Nueva York, which translates to A Summer in New York City, which is iconic. And this song, if it doesn't give you the images in your head, it'll give you the feeling to get up and want to dance. It talks about if you want to have a good time, you know, have a good time, you have to come
You
to
have to
New
come to
York
New York. Yeah.
during the summertime, and
Only in
it's
the summer.
absolutely so true. You know what I mean? To me, at least, you know what I mean. And it talks about different things, and you know the Johnny Pump, the fire hydrant with the water opening and stuff. You know, going to Orchard Beach, going to Bear Mountain Park. You know, it's iconic. This is one of these songs that's no matter how old it is, and it's from 1980, I believe it was. And you play it, people right away,
Everyone will know.
they want to dance to it, and they can relate to it. You know what I mean? Especially people in the tri-state areas, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. You know, and it's one of those songs that takes you on a journey. You know.
This is Un Verano en Nueva York.
Correct.
El Gran Combo. Gotcha. There you go. Thanks.
Beautiful song.
So let's continue our timeline. So I want to make sure we don't completely run out of
Yeah,
time.
well, like I said, this the 90s, it's changing. The music is also taking a turn into a mesh of things. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Salsa's not only staying salsa, it's going into other genres, and people are mixing other things into it. I have an example of a song here.
Kuliki Takati.
Huh?
No, someone asked, where does Kuliki Takati fit into all of this?
That's merengue. That's a whole
Yeah.
nother
No,
offshoot.
the next one will be
Yeah.
about merengue. Right now we're on salsa.
Yeah, that's a whole nother offshoot.
Threw me
you
off
know?
for that one.
Great song.
We're not gonna cue that song up.
But
It's funny. That was
but
very funny.
you know, as I was saying that this is the great song, man. But like I was telling you, you know, I see things happening with salsa. A lot of people are adding it to their music, their style of music.
Right, they're influencing, you know, music that we know.
Correct. This song is called Mi Chula by Radical One. And you're gonna hear different. You're gonna hear salsa. You're gonna hear house, and you're gonna hear hip hop.
Okay.
And that's three genres rolled into one, and I find it amazing. I find it fascinating, and you'll recognize the riff. It's a little slowed down because it is, the tempo is different. But as soon as I play it, you're gonna I know that song, where that's from. You know. Here we go. Right? Gypsy Woman, Crystal Waters. Slowed it down, but. So that's the house, hip hop, and Latin clubbing underneath. Great song, man. You great mesh of different genres. You can dance either salsa to it, house, or I mean. It's just amazing to me. You know?
Yeah, the brain doesn't know really what to
Right,
focus
where
on
should I-
because
which direction to- should
it's
I-
understanding and hearing like almost 9 different inputs on where you want to focus.
Right. And to me, that's genius. You know, I mean, you know, to bring it all together. And this is Mi Chula by Radical One. It's a rap song. It's a rap record. It's a hip hop song, but it has, like I said, Gypsy Woman house song and Latin influenced salsa beat underneath. You know, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I love it and stuff. You know, I mean, it amazes me how far it's got and how wide it's
Like the breadth, like
Right.
the range that salsa is actually able to like kind of
Correct.
go through.
Correct.
So let's kind of talk about where salsa is today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the #1 artist in the world. And for those that don't know, at a minimum, I promise you that if anyone tells you what's a Bad Bunny is the #1 most selling artist in reggaeton in the world right now. He
Any
is
genre. The guy
just
is
revolutionary. And you're gonna hear why. And it's a good thing that we did that whole historical walkthrough and these different understandings of salsa music, because you're gonna see how he takes pop music and combines it, almost squeezes it together and makes it almost his own in a way. And you're asking yourself, what genre even is this? And in a way, it's salsa. So let's jump right into Bad Bunny. So
I don't know if you heard of the guy. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't.
Right, yeah.
Bad Bunny, you know.
he's on SNL, and he says he's the salsa artist.
Right. He's mostly he's a reggaetonero, which is a blend of reggae and Spanish lyrics.
Spanish lyrics.
But now he went back to his roots and he played this song here,
So
which is the introduction.
just give it a 1 second.
And it's huge. When I mean huge, I mean millions and millions of songs sold in every country, all over the world.
All
Not just
over the
here,
world.
I mean everywhere. You know, and we gotta give him props. Puerto Rican guy doing his thing. You know, I mean he's been out for a while, reggaetonero, and he had some great hits.
They call him the Latin King of Pop.
Yeah, the guy is amazing.
So
Right now, whatever he touches is gold. He's got that Midas touch, man. You know, his record's going gold at least.
and
You know, at least.
and like I said, this song in particular is a little long and strange, but you're gonna see in just a couple seconds how he takes whatever this is, right? You're gonna see how it just transforms in just a second. So you hear the trumpets in the background,
Right.
trombones.
and trumpets, yep. Baile inolvidable. Unforgettable dance. Here we go.
Mientras uno está vivo, uno debe amar lo más que pueda.
And he just turns it into a song that sounds like
Tremendous.
this. What even is this? Your ears are listening to trumpets and congos
Bad, man.
and then he starts to sing and rap, and you're just like, why does this work? And it's like it's supposed to. It's salsa music. That's what it's supposed to do.
He definitely came back to his roots and stuff. You know, he put out a salsa song, And this whole album is nice. It's different songs. It's got bomba in it, bomba en plena, which is native to Puerto Rico, you know, and it's definitely a Puerto Rican thing. Bomba en plena is from Puerto Rico, nowhere else. And I mean, other people play it, of course, but it was born in Puerto Rico, you know. And this song, great song. The album is great. He's back to it's a danceable track, and you know, no cursing in it this time.
Thanks, yeah. The
He's
last
known
one you
for
played
that.
had a lot of curse.
Very street, you know, very urban and stuff. That he is and stuff. But this is a great song, man. And this is
Let's lower the volume.
this is where it's headed right now. This is where it is right now. You
Right.
know, salsa music, like I said, it's going different places. This is where it is right now. This is the pinnacle of it right now as we speak. As far as
the future of
sales,
salsa.
yeah, and the future, and the youngsters are picking up on it and stuff, you know. And I like to think that, you know, this is not the end. You know, people are gonna take it and run with it. You know,
Right.
they're gonna make their own other versions of salsified music, which I like to call salsified music. You know, you take something and you add the clave to it, the congas,
Right.
the trumpets and trombones and stuff. You know.
So layering all of this existing music with just this salsa almost aspect to it, like adding the extra instruments, adding the different trumpets, and just like the product. Like, what do you mean? Like, how exactly do you see it really changing?
Well, I like to do a lot of my own remixes too and stuff
Okay.
like that, you know, and I salsify it and stuff. You know, I take an R&B song or any song and I add the music, the salsa rhythm to it, and I see a lot of people doing that also. You know what I'm saying?
Can you play some examples of again what that sounds like?
Sure, yeah, no problem. This is an R&B song that you all know. I'm sure it's "No One in the World" by Anita Baker. I took it and I salsified it, what I like to call DJ King Louis salsified version. And this is what I came up with. I get a lot of feedback from it. It's a slow jam, but I salsified it.
So it's different.
It's different, yeah.
It's different,
Right.
especially if you know the original song.
correct.
Because I don't know the
You
original
know,
song.
no, it's let me take the music off. It's supposed to be a slow jam, you know, but I brought in the,
Gotcha.
you know what I'm saying? And you know, I see a lot of influence, a lot of people doing this type of stuff, and I do not own I don't own the rights to this song. I have no right to be able to do this to this song, but this is a mashup. You know, it's called a mashup. That's allowable. This is Anita Baker mashed up with DJ King Louis with some salsa and stuff.
Right.
You know, so that's allowable.
So that's
I'm
allowable.
not saying this is my song. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So you know, so I don't have to get hit by a copyright infringement or anything.
I think you're fine. But and I'll try to add a list of all the artists. I'll send it an email. But really, what you're saying is that the future of salsa music is being like it's enhancing music that basically already exists.
Right, enhancing it, being influenced by it, mashing it up, you know, salsa with reggaeton, salsa with R&B, salsa with hip hop, you know, stuff like that. There, I see that happening all the time, and it's gonna. It's happened, and it's going to continue to happen and stuff. It's going to be like country music now. Country
Gotcha.
music back in the 70s
Oh my
was
God.
totally different than it is today. Now
Oh
you
my
have
God.
hip hop
Oh my God.
influences,
Like-
and right.
Yeah, Taylor Swift, country
Correct.
music. People nowadays will be like, "What is this?"
Right. So that's where I see salsa music going. If you can, it will have the hip hop influences, the house influences. I'm not even gonna get into the house, Latin house. That's a whole different genre and stuff like that. It has, you know, it's been around for a while, and you know, it's influenced so many people and stuff, and so many people like it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of Latinos in the United States and all over the world, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not the number one spoken language in the world, but it's close to
Yeah,
it.
it's getting close.
You know?
Yeah. And like one thing that I wanted to make sure I pointed out, it's like people in Japan are listening to Bad Bunny,
Absolutely.
and
Right.
it's a wild thing.
Exactly.
It's absolutely wild.
Worldwide.
Worldwide.
It's a phenomenon, definitely, man. God,
Alright.
props to him, and you know, much continued success and stuff, you know.
Yeah. So thank you so much for walking us on this journey, and thank you for your time and telling us what you bring to the table. Where can people find you again if they wanted to listen to salsa music?
Oh,
Can you
okay.
just maybe a website or a link?
Yeah, the
or anything?
website is right here. If you see it on the
It's just Mundo. What is it? Just
Mundo Salsa Radio.
Yep. And that's just a regular.
MundoSalsaRadio.com.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's MundoSalsaRadio.com. It's salsa music 24/7, every day of the week, 24/7. My show, my particular show, DJ King Louie's Royal Salsa, is every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I call it Tuesday nights with a Friday night flavor. Tuesday nights 1-2 punch. Right after me is DJ Ito. He starts at 8 o'clock after I finish, and he goes to 10. And you can catch me on Mixcloud.com, DJ King Louie, SoundCloud.com, DJ King Louie, hashtag DJ King Louie, hashtag DJ KL, hashtag Dale Duro,
Gotcha.
you know, hashtag Royal Salsa Mix. I'm all over, man. So you can find me also on Facebook and Instagram and stuff.
Perfect.
Thank you so very much for this opportunity.
No
brother.
problem. Yeah, thanks.
All right.
And thank you everyone for participating. Any
Thank
final
you.
questions? I know we just have a couple minutes here. Any last questions before I go with DJ King Louie? Anybody?
Thank you for participating. Thank you so very much.
Yeah. All right. Well, if anyone does have a question, please email me, Welly Camarena. You got the invite. And thank you very much, everybody. Stay safe. And I'm glad you guys liked the presentation. See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Can you send a link to everyone so that they can, if you have like a playlist on YouTube, they can just click on it, maybe send to their personal email or what have you, so that they can just go through and listen to your mix. I'm sure you have like a mix on YouTube or something.
So he definitely has mixes on YouTube. So maybe what I can do is
Mixcloud and YouTube, not yet. I haven't gotten on YouTube because I did, but they take it down for
ownership,
copyright.
the copyright
so
stuff.
I'm working on Spotify, and that'll be on there soon. Spotify, and I'm already on Mixcloud.com and SoundCloud.com.
Yeah.
So
So at a minimum,
Yes, I'm glad.
yeah. So at a minimum, what I can do is the songs that we heard today, I'll send an email as a follow up, and I'll add the socials there too. I'll deal with.
Yes.
I'll talk to our team and figure out what I can put out and not put
yeah,
out.
I'll be on Spotify by next month. I mean, by the end of next month, correct?
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Bye, everyone.
Thank
So
you.
long.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thanks a
coming.
lot.
All right.
Awesome, broski.